Hello and welcome to another Dominion 6 Quick Tips. In this one we'll be going over forging common magic path boosters, which are useful to create as they're by and large cheaper than empowering mages. I'll not include artifacts in this video, they probably deserve their own video on the topic. So, when it comes to boosters, each booster will usually boost you by one level in a specific path. If it does more than that, then I'll say it when describing the item. So let's start with the elemental paths. So all elemental paths are buffed by the Staff of Elemental Mastery, which is a double-handed weapon. This can either be in the air and earth form, which provides slightly different bonuses of shock resistance and stone skin, in comparison to the fire and water version, which gives you fire resistance and cold resistance. But both of them will increase all of your elemental magical levels by 1. So that's all of your skills in air, fire, water, or earth. Both of these require level 4 in their respective paths, so fire and water, or level 4 air and earth, and cost 25 gems of each type. For fire boosters, you have some of them, which some of them are easier to create than others. The simplest one is the flame helmet. It does require fire magic level 4, but doesn't require any cross paths, and it costs 25 fire gems. While the other booster, the skull of fire, requires a fire and death cross path, which isn't necessarily the hardest thing to get, but it does require the cross path, and it also requires level 1 in both fire and death and costs 5 gems of each. Air, on the other hand, is far harder to boost into. For that, you need to either get the Horn of Storms at construction level 5, which costs a whopping 40 air gems and requires air magic level 5, but it does also let you cast the spell Stormwind as included with it. Additionally, you can also use the Winged Helmet, which is also construction level 5. It requires air magic level 4 and only costs 25 air gems. In comparison to the others, water is a very easy path to boost for you as soon as you have construction level 7, as you can use the Water Bracelet, which you can create at water level 1 for only 5 water gems for a boost. Very easy thing to make. Additionally, you also have the Robe of the Sea at construction level 5, which requires water magic level 3 and does cost 15 water gems, also gives you water breathing and air breathing for whichever one you're missing. As for earth, earth has earth boots at construction level 5, which only require earth magic level 2 and only cost 10 earth gems, making them a fairly easy thing to get. The other booster for earth is unfortunately a bloodstone, which requires blood magic level 3 and earth magic level 2 and requires 15 blood slaves and 10 earth gems. However, it's a very useful item. I do love the bloodstone because it gives not only the +1 to earth magic, but also gives you temporary gems. A fantastic item to get. Okay, moving on to sorcery. For astral, you have the Coin of Meteoric Iron. That requires astral magic level 2 as well as earth level 2 and costs 10 pearls and 10 earth gems in order to craft. At construction level 7, you also have access to the Starshine Cap, which only requires astral level 2 and 10 pearls, so it's fairly easy to make. Astral as a whole is pretty simple to boost up, especially in comparison to others for lower level mages. Initially, death is very easy to boost as you have access to the Skull Staff at construction 5 and it only costs 10 death gems and gives you a +1 to your death magic, and it only needs death level 2 as well, which is pretty easy to get. The next one that you get, however, is at construction level 7, the Skull Face. That requires death magic level 5 and costs a pretty high 40 death gems. So that's quite a large increase in cost. In comparison, nature actually has quite a few boosters in it. So the first one being the Thistle Mace, which you get at construction level 5. It requires nature magic level 2 and costs 10 nature gems for just a simple +1. Also lets you do poison damage on your attacks, very nice. As for your trinkets, at construction level 7, you get access to the Moonvine Bracelet, slightly harder to craft as it requires nature magic level 3 and astral magic level 1 and costs 5 pearls and 15 nature gems. Additionally, at construction level 7, you also get access to the Tree Lord's Staff, which requires nature magic level 5. It costs 40 nature gems, which is quite a lot, but it does increase your nature magic by +2, making it not more cost effective than some of the other options, but at least it gives you a +2 in your nature magic. As for glamour, at construction level 5, you get access to the Gossamer Veil. This gives you blur and stealth, and it requires glamour magic level 3, and it costs 15 glamour gems in order to craft, making it not so difficult for some of your better glamour mages. At construction level 7, you also have access to the Mirage Crystal, which requires Glamour Magic level 3 and Earth Magic level 2, costs 15 Glamour gems, 10 Earth gems, and is slightly harder to make just because of that cross path. Moving on to Blood, you have access to Bloodthorn. So the Bloodthorn requires Blood Magic level 3 and costs 15 Blood Slaves, so in terms of the cost, in terms of gems, crafting out a lot of these is definitely not as difficult. Blood Slaves are far easier to come by than gems, at least for the majority of blood-using nations. Additionally, you also have 2 armors, the Armor of the Twisting Thorns, which gives +1 Nature Magic and +1 Blood Magic. It requires Blood level 3 and Nature Magic level 2 and costs 15 Slaves and 10 Nature Gems. Bear in mind as well that this item cannot be removed once it's been put on, and it does have quite a high encumbrance, so be a bit careful when you're going to use this. As a whole, this can be a great way of boosting up your nature mages if you have a little bit of blood access as well. Additionally, at construction level 5, you have access to the Armor of Souls. So the Armor of Souls requires Blood Magic level 5 and costs 40 Blood Slaves, but it does give you +1. When it comes to blood in comparison to the other paths, it is less costly in that you have more blood slaves, so it's easier to empower your mages. Just bear in mind, whenever you empower somebody in blood, there's a chance they could get horror marked, and you're probably going to get horror marked anyway when you're doing blood magic, so you don't want to rack up too many of them if you can help it. There is additionally one Holy Path booster as well in the basic items that you can get through Glamour and Fire, which is the Ring of the False Prophet. It requires Glamour Magic level 4 and Fire Magic level 2, and costs 25 Glamour Gems and 10 Fire Gems to give you +1 in your Holy Path. It can be really good for casting things like Fanaticism if you already have access to Holy 3s, or if you want to get your Prophet to cast it. There are some more additional multipath items that can be found at construction level 7, so for Air and Blood you get access to the Robe of the Magi. It requires Air Magic level 5 and Blood Magic level 5, costs 40 Air Gems and 40 Blood Slaves. It does give you +1 to all magical paths that the wearer has. It will, however, taint you, so be ready for those horror marks. At Construction 7, again at level 6 Astral, you can create the Ring of Sorcery. It does cost a whopping 60 pearls in order to create, but it gives you +1 in all of your sorcery paths, so that's Astral, Death, Nature, and Glamour, which can be quite useful. As its big brother, you can also create the Ring of Wizardry, which requires Astral level 7, quite a high path requirement, as well as 80 pearls, a fairly massive investment. But for that, you get +1 magic to all of the wearer's paths, and bear in mind this will also stack with a Ring of Sorcery. While we're on the topic, remember that having more than one booster of the exact same item type will not increase your magic path by 2. So, for example, you can't dual wield Thistle Maces in order to get +2 to your nature path. If you want that second level, you're going to have to use another booster. Additionally, what boosters you can use depends on the chassis of mage that you want to use it on. For example, most monster pretenders can't hold weapons. If you do want to hold more weapons and you don't care for trinket slots, you can use things, for example, like the Abominable Arms or the Copper Arm, in order to give yourself more slots to be able to hold weapons and additional boosters if you want to boost more than one magic path at the same time. It's a powerful tool in a niche circumstance, but it's not going to come up that much, to be quite honest with you. Okay, hopefully that's been helpful to you for recognizing the common boosters for all the magical paths. There are, of course, more of them down here in the unique magic artifacts section, but they are very powerful and you need to get a lot of research in order to get them. I'll probably cover them in a future video. Until then, I hope this is helpful to you, and until next time, take care.